everyone, welcome back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jem and let's get to it. That felt super aggressive and I just hit myself in my own face. In the own face? Yep, okay. That's the intro we're going with. So today we're doing the I Never book tag and I'm really keen for it. Let's just dive in. The first question in this tag is I never read that, and that is a book that you read that everybody else has. Now, this isn't really a book that everybody else has read, but I know it is a popular kids book that I will probably not read. And that is The Return to Raw, because I really did not like the first one. Like, I just felt like there were so many issues in that book, and like, I wanted more to be resolved in it than what I was given, and I know it's probably going to be a big series, but I just felt like it could have been so much better than what it was and what we were given. Question number 2 in this tag is I've never read something so awesome, and that is your favourite book. And obviously that's Narnia. It's one of my favourite books. I think it's going to be one of my favourite books for a very long time. It just holds such a special place in my heart, and I don't think it'll ever be moved from that place because it's so magical. Question number 3 in this tag is I never thought I'd get through, and that is name a book that you powered through even though you didn't like it. Anyway, for this question I decided to go with What If It's Us, and just I really didn't like it. Like, I don't like it when books have a sad ending or an ending that doesn't 100% make sense. I have my issues with it. I know it's going to be a series or a trilogy, but either way, I know there's going to be more books within this saga between these two characters, and I just feel like there was so much racing towards like this end goal, and you're like, yep, I know what the end goal is, and then it sort of did like a 360 and decided, oh no, you don't know what we're going to do, they're not going to end up together. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Why did? Question number 4 is I will never finish that, and that is name a book that you will never finish, obviously. And I feel like that is going to be the Divergent series, the last 2 books, because the annoying thing about it is that I really enjoyed the first one, and to be honest, I didn't know, like, I didn't see a reason for like more. I felt like the stuff that was covered in the first book could have been resolved in one book, but like I think the author just kept digging herself a hole a little bit. So yeah, that was interesting. I'm not saying, I don't like to say I'll never do something, but it's been a few years now and I don't think I'm gonna finish it. Question number 5 in this tag is I will regret reading that, and that is name a book that you read solely on a recommendation from somebody else, but you ended up loving it. And mine is Seven and Dove. I know it is the most problematic book out there, but I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I feel like there's really interesting characters within it, and like the story and how it sort of is revealed. There are little bits in the story that I'm just like, oh, that's not really 100% believable, but I like kind of believed everything else that was happening within it. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was the trashiest thing I've ever read, but I liked it. Question number 6 is I would never do that, and that is pick a book character that made very questionable decisions that you did not agree with. And I decided to go with Susie from The Thing About Jellyfish. She does a lot of strange things. She is in year 7, so I will excuse some of them. But personally, I would not do them, but I understand why she did them. But they were one was a bit weird, and I was just like, I'm not sure if I would do that to somebody, but I understand like how she got there. She's not a bad character, she just does one questionable thing in the book, but other than that, I really liked her. Question number 7 is I would never admit to that, and that is name a book that you were embarrassed / ashamed that you read or did read or whatever. But as I look back on it, I was like, I am ashamed now that I read the Mortal Instruments series, but when I was young it was like, it was, as the kids say, lit. I really enjoyed it when I was younger. As I look back on it now as an adult, I'm like, oof, there is some questionable themes going on in here. Cassandra Clare. Just why is all I have to say. Why? Question number 8 is, I've never read something so heartwarming, and that is name a book that really touched your heart, and I'm choosing Only Mostly Devastated, because it really did touch my heart. A lot of the themes in the book I related to, the main characters, like the different characters within it, I really connected with all of them. I don't think there was a character that I really disliked. I think there was like bits and pieces of each character that I was just like, wow, like I really like all of you, and I really like see parts of myself in them and like growing up. And a lot of the things that was happening within the main character's life, I connected with that. I think it's one of the only books I've ever like sort of teared up and almost cried in. That makes me sound like a robot, but I am a visual person. In my, like when I read a book, I can't really see it playing out in my head 100% of the time. So when like it is adapted into a movie, sometimes like I cry in scenes that I know I would have cried in the book. That was a complete like jump to a different question, but I did really enjoy the book, and I am keen to read her next book. It's even gayer, and I'm so excited. Question number 9. I never laughed so hard, and that is name a book that made you laugh out loud. I decided to go with The Prom. There is a book version of it, if you don't know. It is absolutely fantastic, especially if you have seen either the Broadway edition of it or the movie on Netflix. It just makes me so happy, like the whole premise of it. Like, of course there's bits throughout the, book that are just horrible, but the end is just, there's something so like heartwarming about it and so lovely that it's just fun. And in the end it's just fun. Like obviously there's bits that aren't so much fun throughout that, but there's like so many like positive characters in that book that I wish were in my life. I need positivity. Everybody needs positivity. But it's just, I picked it because it was fun, not necessarily because it made me laugh. But I feel like fun and laughing kind of go hand in hand, so that's why I picked it. Question number 10, which is the final question in this tag, is I would never have made it through childhood without this book, and especially I don't think I would make it through adulthood without this book. It is a picture book. It is one of my favorite things that is not by Shaun Tan. Don't you dare judge me for Shaun Tan. Anyway, it is called Once There Were Giants. It is so good. It is about life and growing up and having your own family. Like there is just so much happiness within those pages, and like I think I've said this in past videos, my mum used to cry when she read it to me, and when I was young obviously I had no idea like why she was crying. I didn't understand it, and now when I read it just for my own suffering and pain I cry. It's so happy, and it's one of those things you look back on as an adult. Like obviously like things like Toy Story and like those sorts of things that you're just like makes you so happy as a kid. You realize the sadness as an adult, but you also realize the happiness that comes with it too. Anyway guys, that is all that I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.